Okay, this is Aaron with Exalted Lamb. I'm back. Yeah, well, I couldn't stay away. I changed my mind. I've done that a few times in my life. I've changed my mind. Um, Man, a lot's going on, and I have been given so much in the last few days. I can't even hold it in anymore. Um, and I'm really interested in supporting my brothers and sisters in Christ during this time because this is very hard. It's hard for me as well, but I've been encouraged and I've been uplifted by the Lord with all this information that He's been giving and I've been finding at the same time. And so I just want to encourage all of you that this time we're almost up. It's almost up. He's coming. We're almost to that point where this destruction is coming. And like I said, unfortunately, in a lot of ways, I'm still don't like that. I hate it actually, like I've said, but it's coming. So. But on the other hand, where our redemption draws nigh, so that is somewhat exciting, and I'm just focusing on that more than destruction because it is what it is. So this was a warning. See this right here, this presidential alert. This was a warning. Okay, and I'm going to decode this in my next video. I've also decoded 923 as well, and I can say that pretty confidently. And listen, all this, I'm still speculating. I'm going to say it again. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm speculating, but I'm going to come off as confident because in this situation and other times that I've, been, because I've gotten some really big time information at times. So otherwise, none of you would watch me and say, hey, go away. And some of you do anyway, but I don't listen to those. So anyway, this is a big deal. This presidential alert is a big deal. This is a warning. And you know what? I don't know how to explain it, but somehow God requires, I think the Lord's made this clear to me. God is requiring notice or behind the scenes information as far as a heads up when this stuff's going to happen. Because it's so treacherous, it's so going to be so destructive, it's going to impact and kill so many people. I think it's not only their mentality, the elites, the global elites, the Luciferians. It's not only their mentality to basically show their moves because they believe they're gentlemen or whatever it is. I think God's put that in them somehow. And God is so magnificent and amazing. He can put thoughts and stuff into anybody's heads. So I think that this is part of the deal. There's got to be some kind of warning hidden somewhere, and God has his messages in other areas as well. So, but I think even in the evildoers, as we've seen in all these movies and TV shows and all this stuff, 923 is all over the place. They have to show their moves somehow. Either they believe that, God's put that in their minds, in demons, that they have to do that before the destruction, so people have a possible chance of being warned in some way. Not only by the Spirit of God, which is huge too, but God is so merciful, he shows other ways for people to be warned. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to break this down, what this actually means. Not at this point, because I'm gathering more information. I already have some big time stuff. Big time. In a few days, I'm going to put out this video about when I think all this stuff is going to break down and when it's going to happen and everything and what 923 actually is. And I've got to convince you, so I have to put this stuff together. So this was a warning. This is a big warning. And like I said in my last video, I pretty much predicted it. I didn't know the exact event, but I did say originally after 8 Hawaii time, and then after 2 New York time, and then I changed it up to the 9, and then 3 on the East Coast and all that. But I did say October 3rd or 9/23 on the Julian calendar. It was that day. It was that time. My original time that I'd said. So, again, we're not going to know all these events and exactly the timing on everything and what event and what time and everything, but we're following the clues. We're following the breadcrumbs to the understanding. So, Today was a big day. Okay, I just happened to be looking at something, and I'm going to show you here in a second what that was. Now, on that day that we got this notice, see this thing right here, which was a big, and I might explain to you at some point what kind of warning it was. Okay, but it was a warning. And now on that day, it was brought to my attention by JD that the stock market was showing these numbers. So if you can see here, right here we got 666, which is 999 upside down, of course. That's pretty obvious. I mean, anybody who looks at these things, you can kind of see it's obvious. We have 923, and it's spaced by these little markers here, spacing, breaking it up. It's 923. We have obviously 923 right here. So we have some pretty big signs in here that they're trying to communicate. And anybody could say, hey, this is just chance. Well, if you can look at it that way, we have 444 right here. We have 777 right here. This is how they do this. They lump these things together. They do patterns and everything. There's reasons for all these things, okay? So if you're looking, if you have some insight, and I'm not just, I don't just say these things and then not have backup. So today we had the third largest drop in the Dow's history. The third largest drop, okay? Now today was a big deal because I was looking at something a couple days ago. The Lord put my mind on about this coming date, about the actual date of the attacks that is coming on 9/23, and I'm going to tell you what that is on my next video, because I'm not going to even break it down right now because it's too much, and I want to make sure you have the evidence you need. So, but right here, look at this. This was today. It dropped 831 points, 0.83. Okay, the third largest drop in history. Okay, and this day was planned, and I'm going to show you that. Why was this day planned? I'll show you. But look at here. See this 83183? You add those up, and that's 23. Ooh, what a shock. And you add these up, and that becomes 9. 923 again. No way. And we got another 923 backwards right here. Or, mess up. I mean, give me a break. There's more stuff in here. I'm not going to get into everything. Look at this one. Skull and Bones. You know anything about Skull and Bones? They love 322. They're just doing their messaging big time because they're showing their cards more and more, because they basically think that people don't have a shot and a chance to get out of their trap. But they're gentlemen, as they would say, as the different Rockefellers have said, and the Rothschilds have said, they're gentlemen. They want to give their prey a fighting chance before they go and hunt them. So it's really sick. They are sick people, but that's what's going on. So The Economist magazine, some of you know about it, some of you don't. This was published in January 1990. It may have been published earlier, but it was the issue for January 9th through 15th of 1988, saying that 30 years from then, right now, 2018, right there, 2018, to get ready for a world currency, and that these all would be aflamed here. Look at all these. You got the dollar going, you got the yen. I mean, all these different currencies going up in flames, because guess what? The economies are going to tank. And this one that happened today is 10/10/2018, October 10th, 2018, today. Okay. And I was just looking at this a couple days ago about something the Lord has been showing me, and I will show you in my next video. It's very important that people understand this, because it's huge, okay? And this is coming very soon. But this is another warning. It's, in a way, again, it's God, but it's also the enemy in his pride or something. I don't know, but ultimately I'm going to take it from God, that it's his grace and mercy on even unbelievers and stuff, that these messages are being put out, and God has his messaging, and the enemy has his messaging for his cult members, and also just, again, to put this stuff out to the people who are the sheep or the cattle or the goats or whatever that they think they are, that they are going to basically sacrifice. Okay, so That is today. 10/10/2018 is today, and we just had the third largest drop, and it ends up totaling 923 on the Dow and all that stuff. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Do you see this stuff? So here's the biggest one-day Dow drops, and it just so happens the three largest are this year. So and then this right here, this one here that we just had today is signaling that this is the year. This is the year of destruction. Okay. And I'm going to show you in my next video, again, in a few days, I'll have all this stuff together, and I'm waiting for timing. I feel like when the Lord gives me timing to release and put this stuff together and put it out, then it's time. And it's all in His hands. I do my best to do what He tells me the best I can. And I would encourage all of you, every one of you that believes in Jesus, to do the same. This is not our lives. He said if you gain your life, if you keep your life, you'll lose it. But if you lose it for His sake, you will keep it. And if we go our own way, do our own thing, try to be lords of our own life, it's super folly. It is absolutely foolishness to do that. And I've proven it. I've proven it in my life. I've done it many times. And then in the last, basically about 16 years ago, I finally said, I'm done. Lord, I'm going your way. I'm going your way or bust. And I've come pretty close to busting. But He has upgirded me, and He has blessed me and my family in amazing ways. And it's also been the hardest thing you'll ever do. And let me give you an example. I have a friend that's a couple friends I've had in the military, and a couple have been high up military, a couple of Navy SEALs, and a Green Beret that was an older guy. And they said that the heart work and stuff that I do and I've done and I've helped people with and men with addictions and stuff is the hardest thing you'll ever do. They would rather go back to SEAL training than do this. So the thing I've done to help people with their heart and change and grow, and what you have to do to follow the Lord, and He purifies your heart on the path. And what God's interested in our hearts. He's interested in the purifying of our hearts. He's interested in writing His words on the tablets of our heart, not in cold stone tablets. He wants our heart to be engaged with Him. It's about a relationship. It's funny. I had a guy recently tell me, how do you, when you say you talk to God, isn't that, how can you say that? I'm like, listen, you miss the whole point of being a Christian. A Christian is a relationship with Christ. If you don't talk to God, if you're not hearing from God, if you don't have communication, that's what prayer really is. You're missing the whole point. I'm sorry, but you are. So on this whole thing, this is a big signal today that this is about to happen. Okay, and it's no coincidence that this is the biggest drop is 9 and 23. I'm sorry, but the day is coming of 9/23, and I'm going to share that with you at some point, what that is. Okay, so that's what this is. Okay, there's signals all over the place. Okay, and so I want to put this out really quick so you get an idea what that this was a warning, and it just happens to be 7 days after October 3rd, which was the presidential alert, which was a warning as well. And we might have a few more warnings in a few more weeks, but it is coming. This thing is coming. The attack is coming, and I will have a video, like I said, out in a few days, giving you the details of what I found more in iPad Goat and other things, including that Economist magazine cover. It reveals some things, more things as well. So these guys speak in code, and I feel like I may have cracked the code. So anyway, so I want you to be encouraged and know that, listen, God is fighting for you. And if He's fighting for you, no one can stand against you. But just get on His side. Get on the Lord's side. Get on Jesus' side. Okay, because time is almost up. We just had the third largest crash in history, and it's just beginning. Okay, if you know anything about the financial situation of our country and the world, it has been propped up year after year after year. It's the biggest bubble ever, and it's about to burst, just so you know. Not to mention all the attacks. When these attacks happen on East and West Coast with these big tsunamis that are going to happen, which are completely pre-planned and everything, like I've shown in my videos, you better pick a side. And right away, I would encourage you to pick a side right now, the right side. When the Lord says, choose this day, death or life, choose life. Okay, choose life, please. So this is Exalted Lamb 1, over and out.